Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And of course, I got some new news for you concerning Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez has tested positive for a banned substance called Clebuteral. It increases your blood flow and builds muscle mass. So it is definitely a banned substance. It's definitely a performance enhancing drug. And of course, his response was he received it from eating contaminated meat or meat from Mexico that contains certain elements in it or that particular chemical in it, in the meat. And I say to that, well, first of all, fight fans really don't really be first of all, don't be surprised. Second of all, don't worry because the fight won't go anywhere. Canelo Alvarez is the cash cow. Okay, they're not going to stop a promotion or one of the biggest fights of the year because of banned substance. The only way they stop it is someone gets injured to the point or someone dies. That's the only way that this fight's going to be stopped. Maybe if Gennady Golovkin would have tested positive for something, yeah, that probably would have been a wrap. But not Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has too many advantages. You know, he has too many stakes in the fire. He's protected on ways that people really don't understand. This fight will happen. Don't worry. As regards to the performance enhancing drug, whatever you want to call it. As far as that goes, I look at it, man, like I am surprised personally because of the excuse. Canelo Alvarez, I think he needed an edge because he's made a great claim. His claim was, hey, I'm going to knock Golovkin out. So, yeah, you need something that's going to give you an edge. And I don't think that he was intended to, it's March, okay? I don't think that he was going to get tested this early, honestly. I don't think that he thought that. But of course, I just ate contaminated meat from Mexico. There's a lot of things wrong with that. And let me start with this. First of all, if you're going to eat contaminated meat in Mexico, first of all, he's not even in Mexico a lot like that. He stays in San Diego. He spends most of his time there, not just the training camp. You know what I mean? You think like a lot of these rich guys spend a lot of time in Mexico. Not to say that they don't spend any time in Mexico, but he doesn't even spend the amount of time in Mexico because like everyone that he knows is close to him is up here. Do you think he flies his family down or up from those fights from Mexico? No, they all stay in San Diego. He puts them up in a house there. The dude's a millionaire, okay? He's the cash cow. So he's the next De La Hoya. He doesn't need money. A guy like that doesn't have to have his family in Mexico. They probably have property still there. But you think they still stay in that town? Guadalajara, you think they still stay there? Yes, some relatives that they don't really like. You know what I'm saying? But the intermediate family is in the States. So there would be no reason to be eating contaminated meat anyhow because you're not even in that region enough to be eating meat like that. And if you are, you're gonna get that shit mailed over, and it's gonna be flown in. Okay, and if you got money like that, you're not gonna sit there and eat stuff like that anyway. Because your accustomed different. You're accustomed to eating Kobe beef or prime beef. He probably don't even eat select beef anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's still a pretty good cut. But saying, "Oh, I ate meat from Mexico that gave me Glenbruder," no, dude. In order for that, unless you're eating like raw meat to the point like it's blue. You got blue, you got rare, you got medium rare, you got medium, you got medium well, then you got well done, right? So you can miss me with that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I believe Canelo Alvarez, he was taking something because he's trying to give himself an edge. You know what I mean? Because all the pressure's on him because if he can't beat Golovkin, his credibility is going to drop, especially after this fight because a lot of people think Golovkin won anyway. You know what I mean? I look at the fight. I think Golovkin won. I think Golovkin should have won more, and I think he should have done more, but I think he done enough to win. I think Erislandy Lara beat Canelo. But I think he should have done more because of his position. You can't go out and just barely beat the champ or the cash cow. You can't do it. It's not going to work like that. The politics will stop you from winning these type of fights. But the problem is the stress is on Canelo. He feels like, hey, I need to really knock this guy out, so I need an edge. So he started taking that a long time ago. However, he took it through shake, injected it, or whatever through the pill. Well, I don't know how he took it, but it didn't come from it didn't come from meat, man. It didn't come from meat. I mean, but the thing is, the reality of it. Yeah, he tested positive for this substance. So what? Is the fight going anywhere? No. So what does that tell you? It don't matter what the hell Canelo Alvarez was tested positive with. That fight's gonna go on. So on Cinco de Mayo weekend, you think all those tickets that already been sold, you think they're gonna refund anything back? You think this fight is going anywhere? This fight's not going nowhere. This fight is staying exactly where it's at. So rest assured that that's what it is. And Golovkin's camp should be pissed off about it. But I mean, hey, because it's a double standard. Again, if Gennady Golovkin tested positive for Clebuteral, this fight would have been, oh man, I don't think this fight can happen. Golovkin's an aging fighter, so he had to get an edge. And it's sad for Canelo Alvarez because he doesn't really need an edge. He just go out there to do the best that he can like he did the first fight. You know what I mean? But I think that he didn't have the power to really hurt Golovkin. He hit Golovkin a lot with great punches. The type of punches that knocked James Kirkland out. The type of punches that made the referee stop in the Angulo fight. You know what I mean? The type of punches that knocked Khan the fuck out. And he hit him with the same punches, and Golovkin just came forward and told him, come on, I must break you. You know what I mean? Good boy. And I think that bothered Canelo mentally, especially the 7th and 8th round. And that's when he started to slow down. He started to gas out because he was like, okay, this guy's supposed to be going somewhere. This guy's supposed to be hurt to a point that I can do something to work with him. So it was discouraging for him, and I get it, but I don't get it. It's like, yes, you're going to get it. You should have fought Golovkin 2 years ago. Or a year and a half before you actually fought him. You wait till he got 35 years old and fought him. And then when you fight him at 35, you can't even hurt this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's going to be a tough fight. All fights are not going to be the fights that you're going to look good in or that you're going to just excel in. It's not going to work that way. That's how the best fight the best, So these guys are regarded as some of the best in the world. So Canelo Alvarez has to suck it up. Don't cheat. And he has youth on his side. He's only 27 years old. He's in his prime. So, I mean, there's no reason for that. He's not over the hill or nothing like that. So there's no reason to cheat. So, yeah, shame on Canelo Alvarez. It's disrespectful to the sport, but the sport also shows its corruption because this fight is still going on. If they would have found a banned substance in anyone else's fight, this fight would have been over, But so it's a bittersweet thing, I mean, hey, everybody still wants to see the fight take place, including myself. So, hey, you got to be thankful for the corruption because if it wasn't for the corruption, this fight wouldn't even be going on. So that's my take on it, man. I mean, it is what it is. These guys are going to fight, but Canelo Alvarez, up until now, they're going to test him more thoroughly now. And he knows, okay, I can't get away from it, but I hope it was worth it. I hope how long he was taking this banned substance, because you don't know how long he was taking it. I hope it gives him an edge like he thinks, because a lot of people take drugs for certain reasons. You know what I mean? I don't know if that particular drug, because I don't know too much about performance-enhancing drugs or that type of performance-enhancing drugs. So I don't know how that can, how that can affect him and how that can benefit him from this time and all the way to May, because May is a way, you got March, April, well, a couple months ahead. So, you look at it, so you're like, okay, well, will it even benefit him from now? That's the question. But it might to a certain extent because, What's done is done. If you cheat and you start taking drugs, it could benefit you because he's already physically he's depending on how long he's taken it, he's benefited from the growth and the strength that he's gained. That's why it should be stopped, but it won't. So rest assured, we're going to see a good fight, whichever fight happens, But I can tell you this, karma's a bitch. And until then, guys, you tell me what you think about this. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.